Eindruck gemacht beim Frühstück heute. Ja, mach das mal. Heute ist
Game officials for this game have been licensed and assigned by the International Ice Hockey Federation. The referee of the game is Anthony Ramek and Alexei Ransalat. And the linesmen are Alexander Otmakov and Anu Somonen. The starting line for Team Germany.
Welcome to Herning, Denmark. It's day 4 of the 2018 World Hockey Championship. The United States, with a 2-0 record, will take on Team Germany. The Americans open with a shootout win against Canada, then beat the host Danes 4-0. Keith Kincaid will once again start for the United States, has a .930 save percentage. Marco Sturm is the coach for the Germans. They've lost 2 games in shootouts to start this tournament. They've gone 0 for 8 in the shootouts so far. Jeff Blashill is back for his 2nd straight year as the coach of Team USA. a very emotional win for the Germans last year against the United States in Cologne. And there is Nicholas Treutler, who will get the start, his first for the Germans in this tournament. Treutler plays in Nuremberg in the German Elite League. Played 2 games for the Arizona Coyotes in 2015-2016.
Had a good year this year, and after Timo Pielmeier's struggles in the first 2 games, gets his first crack at it here this afternoon.
Icing call right away against Team USA is Alec Martinez, a Stanley Cup winner with the Los Angeles Kings, a 2-time winner, scored the Stanley Cup winning goal for the Kings.
Interesting for Germany is Leon Draisaitl is started on the wing here, along with Dominic Cahoon. Cahoon, who just signed with the Chicago Blackhawks for next season, is moved into the middle here as Marco Sturm rattles his lines around, looking for something a little bit more productive.
Raiden Holzer floats that wide, and Draisaitl picks it up. Of course, Draisaitl spent much of last season on the wing with Connor McDavid in Edmonton before being moved back to the middle this year. Dylan Larkin drops it back for Martinez. San Jose knocked out last night. The United States could reach out to Joe Pavelski, longtime American international. As Larkin works in, Dylan Larkin winds his way in, sends it back in front, and Treutler knocks that away. American GM Bill Zito, now the assistant GM in Columbus, was his first agent back in his days representing players. Here's Will Butcher with it. And a penalty coming now to the Germans. Cam Atkinson drops it back to Butcher. Larkin swings it across to Kane, who comes on as the extra skater. Patrick Kane winds it and shoots. Treutler makes the stop. Now the Germans touch up, and 1:05 gone in the opening period. And it'll be the U.S. with the power play as Dennis Seidenberg goes off.
The U.S. has 1 power play goal in their 2 games. Chris Kreider has the power play goal, and Kreider almost knocks one out of the air here as Treutler is trying to get to the side of the net. There's the play. Seidenberg's stick doesn't come off the ice. I'm not real sure what the high stick is.
Now Butcher in, shoots, that was blocked. Seidenberg was a shot-blocking machine in the late stages against Norway. Blocked 4 in a row in a late Norwegian power play. And now Will Butcher, sensational Devils rookie who quarterbacks the American power play, brings it in. Johnny Gaudreau, long wrist shot, the tip by Kane. That went wide. Now Patrick Kane plays it around for Atkinson. Back at the point is Butcher. Swings it across to Kane. Kane has a look for Gaudreau. He's tied up. Atkinson gets loose. On his backhand, tough play for Bjorn Krupp. And now Kane knocks it down. Kane slides it back to Butcher. Across he goes to Gaudreau. Tried to hold, he lost the puck, and it's sent down the ice by Moritz Mueller.
Halfway between a shot and a pass, and Gaudreau ends up having the puck slide off his stick. Pretty uncharacteristic for him.
Americans are 1 for 5 on the power play so far with a goal scored by Chris Kreider. Larkin moves in, but the play's offside as Larkin was going full stride.
The early power play here looks a little disheveled for the U.S. A couple of mishandles. Larkin offside as Jeff Blashill's team, for me, has been a little bit of a surprise to beat Canada in the shootout, although they didn't defend very well. Keith Kincaid was outstanding. Made 41 stops in the opener, and predictably much better, a more in-control game against Denmark in game 2.
Third year as the head coach for the Detroit Red Wings this year. They missed the playoffs the last 2 years. A rebuilding program underway with the Red Wings.
11 draft choices this year.
Larkin moves in, played around for Derek Ryan. 30 seconds to go in the American power play. Germans have allowed 3 power play goals on 7 opposition chances. In comes Larkin, shoots short side, just missed. And Quinn Hughes, the 18-year-old you mentioned in the opening, Ray, who also works on the American power play, had that knocked down and sent down the ice by Jonas Mueller. He has not looked shy at all, has he?
No, the puck thinks of turning over, and Hughes is up the ice. He's just a terrific skater, incredibly agile.
And that for Larkin that was knocked away by Viederer. Seidenberg's back on the ice, and the teams are back to even strength. Vieter on the forecheck, knocked that away from Hughes. Loose behind the goal, Vieter throws it back in front. Kincaid got a pad on that, and then reaches out and gathers up the loose puck.
Excellent kill and a good push up the ice. Vieter gets to the loose puck first, and as he tries to center it, it's going to deflect back to Kincaid, who all of a sudden has to be spread out to make this little toe stop, and now he wants to corral it before Eisenschmidt can get to it.
Face-off won by Hager. This is Hager with Plachta and Eisenschmidt. All the lines are different for the Germans for this game, as you mentioned. Those Germans trying to push some buttons.
Well, with no wins in 2 games, even though they have the 2 points, you start to look at who plays whom, and they've already missed against Denmark and Norway.
Yannick Steinberg sends it. Eisenschmidt a chance, and Kincaid makes the stop on him.
That's a terrific save, man. I would say Keith Kincaid has been the best player for the United States through the first 2 games. He was so good against Canada, and here he makes an excellent stop on Eisenschmidt as Yannick Seidenberg gets into the play. He's a defenseman who played forward for a lot of his career. He's very mobile, very involved. He started to play to Plachta, and Germany that close to a 1-0 lead.
And now Draisaitl will take the draw. No, he won't. He gets tossed, and Cahoon steps in. Draisaitl taps it back to Yannick Steinberg. A long wrist shot that hit Alec Martinez. Then played back to center. Moritz Mueller was spilled there by Larkin. Alec Martinez sends that ahead. Drop back by Atkinson. Kreider a quick shot that goes high and wide. Larkin back on it. Now Kreider comes racing back. The wide pass goes to Draisaitl. Leon Draisaitl head fake there. Bumped off the puck by Connor Murphy. And Larkin comes back 2-on-2 with Atkinson. Larkin pivots back, goes rink wide to pass in behind Murphy. Knocked away from Draisaitl. Now moved ahead. Jason Elitz throws it ahead. And that the backhand jump by Bernhard Ebner goes wide. Cahoon gathers the puck at the line. Plays it back across for Draisaitl. Puts it back in. Cahoon spins and shoots. Pad save by Kincaid there. And the rebound cleaned up by Kreider and sent back down the ice.
Sweet little dish from Leon Draisaitl, and Cahoon tests Kincaid again. 2 really good stops in 5 minutes.
Germany out shooting the United States 4-1 so far here in the first period. Mark Michaelis, who scored against Norway in the last German game, played that across. It's knocked away by Jordan Osterley. Played back to center ice. Copenhagen, Russia is playing Belarus this afternoon. Pavel Datsyuk just scored to make it 1-0. Russians tuned up France and Austria by identical 7-0 scores to open the tournament.
14-0, the goals for and against. I don't think it's going to get any worse today.
Kane on now. Holzer knocked that away. Now at the line. Played back in by Neil Pionk. Noble sends it ahead for Holzer. Holzer, the German veteran, plays it back down in the American zone. Nick Jensen of the Detroit Red Wings out the center ice, knocked down by Derek Ryan of the Carolina Hurricanes. And Jonas Mueller plays it back to the line and just out. Anders Lee lost it. Brought in now by Sebastian Avera. And Avera pivots back along the boards. He got bumped there by Jensen. Now Gaudreau plays it ahead, but Kramer goes back to pick it up for Germany. Knocked down by Gaudreau. Slides in across the line, Johnny Gaudreau. Heels back, trying to pick that free. Now Ryan has it. Eric Ryan. Bangs it down to Gaudreau. Up there by Vieter. Vieter was held up by Gaudreau for a second. Now the puck turned over as Will Butcher jumped ahead. And Jonas Mueller plays that the other way and finds Avera. Avera shooting went off his stick at the American bench, and play is called with 13:20 to go in a scoreless opening period. 4:30 local time on a Monday afternoon. These fans in fine fettle.
We had a couple of good days here to get outside and enjoy and expand the venue, if you will.
Yes. There's a large beer garden outside, a big one downtown as well.
Soccer game next door tonight.
Yeah, the 30,000 people there. And the host Danes playing Canada tonight. So there'll be basically 40,000 people at sporting events here tonight in a city of 50,000 people. Lead pass finds Sonny Milano as Milano works in on Moritz Mueller. Now Brian Gibbons picks it up. Fourth line on the ice for Team USA. At the point, Quinn Hughes plays it back across, and Pionk can't hold it. Colin White plays it across to Hughes. And back to White, the Ottawa Senators' first-round pick for Gibbons. Walking back in, White put that through the crease. Now Hughes back with it. Back to Milano, feeds it back at the point. Gibbons shoots, goes off the leg of Moritz Mueller. Now played back down the ice by Eisenschmidt. That'll be an icing call against the Germans who have been out there for a while.
U.S. gets Colin White in the game here. White started the tournament between Johnny Gaudreau and Patrick Kane. He was moved down the lineup as Blake Coleman was moved up into the middle of that line, but they've liked what White's done over the last little bit and expect to see him a bit more. There's the Elitz chance, or the Cahoon chance rather, deflected by Elitz, and Keith Kincaid with the pad stop.
Murphy holds the line, plays it across to Kane, spins and shoots. Troitla makes the stop, the puck loose in front, is knocked away by Plachta. Martinez drops it back for DeBrincat. He bobbled it for a moment as Draisaitl was bearing in on him. Germans are changing though as Dennis Seidenberg plays it across. Seidenberg, the 36-year-old, leads the Germans in minutes played per game, up around 27 a game so far.
You mentioned the finish of the game yesterday where he was just chewing on shots on the power play.
Kane slides it back. Murphy shoots, and Troitla got just a piece of that. Sent it again, and Coleman had it knocked away by Seidenberg. He is taking some bites in the NHL as Dennis Seidenberg for pucks over the years. Broken arm, broken leg, shattered elbow. Keeps coming back for more.
The one thing these guys don't know yet, but they'll find out in about 20 years, is those things start, you got to pay a bill for them sometime.
Cahoon centers, Draisaitl works it, drops it back, and the shot by Ebner deflected wide. Another chance for Draisaitl. That's turned away.
Now, real sharp angle. Draisaitl had this puck just bounce to him, and he just missed the short side.
Now Jonas Mueller a shot that just missed. Ebner back with it, fires again, and was blocked in front by Martinez. Here's Cahoon. Down to Draisaitl. Great pressure by Germany that goes right through the crease. Kincaid swatted that away. Ebner can't hold it. Patrick Kane's away. And now Kane moves in 2-on-1 with DeBrincat. Patrick Kane, DeBrincat shoots, and Troitla comes over and gets a piece of that.
I thought Kane was going to shoot it. He had time there, and he went across to DeBrincat.
Larkin feeds it across to Kane. Back in the corner to Larkin as the U.S. is changing. Ebner steps into him for Ehlers. Got tied up there by Kreider. And now Cahoon flips to center ice. Glove down by Butcher. Cam Atkinson of the Columbus Blue Jackets drops it off to Larkin. In comes Dylan Larkin. Throws it back in front. A chance there for Atkinson. And Troitla eats that up.
Well, Germany has been really good here in the first 10 minutes. They've forced the U.S. back on their heels a little bit. When Bernard Ebner, playing his first game of the tournament, stumbles outside the blue line, Patrick Kane's got all kinds of time, and he drags the puck. That's where I thought he was going to shoot it, but he puts it across to DeBrincat, who really doesn't get a lot on it. DeBrincat had an outstanding rookie season for the Blackhawks. 28 goals to lead the Hawks, and a lot of time playing alongside of Patrick Kane. If you're playing on a line with Kane and you get open, you make sure you got your stick down. He's going to find you more often than not.
DeBrincat, a goal-scoring phenom in the Ontario Hockey League. Last year led the league with 65 goals in 63 games, was the MVP, and then led the playoffs in scoring as well. Drafted with a second-round pick that Chicago got from Montreal in the Andrew Shaw deal. Anders Lee Takes the return pass from Ryan, moves in with Atkinson, quick shot, save, and Troitla dives back across and stops that. What a stop there by Niklas Troitla to keep it scoreless. Back to Herning, Denmark at the 2018 Worlds in a moment. The 27-year-old Niklas Troitla makes a highlight reel save on Cam Atkinson to keep it scoreless here in the opening period. Good chances at both ends now as Pionk has it. Wrist that towards the goal and couldn't find Johnny Gaudreau with it.
Troitla with a early punch here as he gets his first chance to play in the tournament after Pielmeier played too, and without Danny Ostenbergen, the goaltender that went to the gold medal game at the Olympics, involved, there's a little bit of an opening here if you can squeeze your way in.
Ostenbergen won a German championship with Munich, went 7 games with Berlin, and after the Olympic year and a long playoff run, declined the invitation to play for Germany in this World Championship. Wiederer works in, he falls, and play continues. Osterley got tied up there, and the centering pass just missed Manuel Wiederer. Gaudreau in around Jonas Mueller, drops it back, and the puck trickles wide as backhanded towards the goal by Pionk. Veterans for Germany like Christian Ehrhoff, Marcel Gottsch retired after the Olympics from the national program. As Bjorn Krupp comes in and shoots, knocked away by Kincaid. And then 5 other players from their Olympic team were injured in the German League playoffs. In a boxing tournament?
That's an incredible number here
pass
for
to
them
Brian,
to be without.
Brian Gibbons gets that to settle down. The likes of Patrick Reimer, David Wolf, and others were hurt. So 10 players from the German Olympic team that won silver are here at the World Championship. Tage Thompson walks in, shoots, it goes off a leg and wide, and man, a block that Jonas Mueller picks it up. Looks ahead to Hager, who led the Germans with 7 points in 7 games in Pyeongchang.
Their power play was really effective there, and he's got a real knack on the power play to get loose. He got a couple power play goals in the game against Norway.
And back goes Moritz Mueller. The power play was good and timely. Germans played 6 straight 1-goal games. Overtime, shootouts, you name it. And Coleman back with it. Up ahead for Kane. Drops it back. Played back across into Brinkett. Shot was blocked. Coleman couldn't reach the rebound, and Moritz Mueller finds Draisaitl. His rink-wide pass was broken up by Cahoon, and now Cahoon busts it in. Cahoon in, shoots, and Murphy got in the way of that. Cahoon back on it, throws it back in front. Elis plays it across to Brinkett, picks it off for Team USA, and back comes Patrick Kane. Kane winds his way in. Throws it back towards the goal. Glove down by Cahoon. He finds Draisaitl. Germany changing as Draisaitl winds back. 6.5 to go here in the opening period. Backhanded in by Tiffels. Michaelis plays college hockey at Minnesota State Mankato. Goes back to Holzer. A long shot by Dennis Seidenberg was blocked. And the puck goes over the glass and out of play.
The United States has 5 shots on goal. One of them is a chance by Cam Atkinson, who's got a goal in each of the games. He almost had 3 straight as he's got the wide open net. Troitla dives back across to grab the rebound off of the pad of the Anders Lee shot. Atkinson, who scored twice in the shootout against Canada, so was credited with a game-winning goal there.
Yes.
And he scored yesterday as well against Norway.
So it's credited as a goal in the tournament, the winning goal in the shootout only. The winning goaltender in the shootout does not get a win, but the losing goaltender takes a loss.
That's a little mean.
So we're going to arbitrarily award Kincaid a win and say he's 2-0 in the tournament.
It seems a little harsh, doesn't it?
Does seem odd. For a couple of years there, they didn't credit a shot on goal against the goaltender, even though there was a goal scored, so they had to change that. Now Osterley shoots, and the save is made by Treutler. 5:41 to go here in a scoreless first period in Herning, Denmark. Treutler has been good for Team Germany. Played for the 2011 World Junior Championship in Buffalo. Germany was relegated in 2015 to the World Junior Championship in Toronto. Has not been back to the top level of the juniors since. In fact, 2 years ago, we're in danger of getting relegated out of the second division at the World Junior. There's a terrific 18-year-old German player named Dominik Bach, who played this year as a 17-year-old in Sweden, played for Vaxio, who won the Swedish Elite League Championship. He's up for the draft this year. He's considered maybe the best German player since Leon Draisaitl. Osterley plays it around, and Moritz Mueller jumps on that, fired it wide.
Vaxio was led by Elias Pettersson, Vancouver Canucks draft pick of last year. Excited to get him into the fold in September.
Anders Lee works in. If you missed it at the start of the tournament, the IIHF announcing that a number of the Swedish players and their coach from last year's World Junior Championship in Buffalo are suspended for the start of next year for the incident with the medals at the end of the tournament, taking their silver medals off. Corbinian Holzer works that around. Brought in now by Gaudreau, Johnny Gaudreau. Slides it back to Lee. Anders Lee works it, has a lane and shoots. Treutler knocks that away. Now Gaudreau puts it back across to Martinez and hop over his stick and back out to center ice. Players report that the ice is pretty good here. This is not a hockey rink, believe it or not. It's a handball arena that's also used for concerts and special events. The local team Herning plays at another rink about 10 minutes from here. After Kane winds in. Has a look, has a lane, and shoots with a leg in front. Ice was put into this building for the first time in January.
It's interesting when the players say it's all right, because it seems to bounce, the puck bounces a lot. But it's not been a problem according to the guys that it really matters to.
Colin White has that pass go off the leg of Draisaitl. Now Butcher goes back with Draisaitl bearing in on him. The United States has had the game's only power play so far. Colin White plays out ahead and it's knocked out by Bjorn Krupp. DeBrincat back with it. 28 goals you mentioned for Chicago. Doesn't get you a sniff for the Rookie of the Year award this year.
No, an outstanding year, and he's miles behind the pack.
Not named a finalist for the Calder Trophy as Atkinson works it and shoots. And Treutler makes the save. The rebound cleaned up by Jonas Mueller. Draisaitl.
Good work by Larkin to come back.
knocked it free. And Pionk brings it ahead now. The defenseman jumps in, feeds Larkin. Larkin moves in, shoots, and Troitla makes the stop on that.
Now there's a good look at what Dylan Larkin does and where the Detroit Red Wings feel his game will go. A little bit of a mentor in Henrik Zetterberg in Detroit, who's always played so well at both ends of the ice. Larkin comes back on the puck on Leon Draisaitl, intercepts the play, and plays a little give and go with Pionk to get this chance as he uses his legs to create some space up the ice.
Ray, coaches always tell players that good defense leads to offense.
Yeah, but it's a hard sell. They're right, but often what happens is when you don't score, you start to cheat offensively because you want to create a chance. Well, the more you cheat, what ends up happening is the more time you spend in your zone, and eventually something clicks and you start to play better defensively and you go, oh, maybe the coach wasn't so wrong. But you kind of have to come to it on your own a little bit.
Tage Thompson moved it by Michaelis, and now Tiffel swings back to pick it up, and a penalty coming now as Tiffel's had his stick slashed out of his hands. And so the Germans are going to power play here with 2:34 to go as Tage Thompson goes on.
Thompson had lost the puck to Tiffels. Basically the same way that Larkin came back on the puck against Draisaitl. That's what Tiffels does to Tage Thompson. Look at this Tiffels' effort here to poke the puck away. And when he gets the puck, Thompson's going to clunk his stick out of his hands, and there's the penalty, and Germany's power play goes to work.
That's Exhibit A in your theory, that the first 2 seconds after you turn the puck over are the most dangerous.
If you could throw handcuffs on the player that turns it over, you'd be way better off. It's amazing how many times the penalty comes right then.
Germany 2 for 7 on the power play in the tournament. Patrick Hager has them both. In comes Draisaitl, centering pass, tipped wide there by Yannick Seidenberg, who jumped in.
What a great pass from Draisaitl.
Feeds it back to Matthias Plachta. Back to Seidenberg, lines and shoots again. Kincaid makes the stop through the traffic.
We mentioned Yannick Seidenberg plays defense. He plays the point on the power play, but he's a converted forward. And after the puck is turned over at the line, watch Seidenberg on the top of your screen. He's going to be in the half wall, and he comes all the way from the boards into that position to take the zip pass from Leon Draisaitl. He's got the whole net, and he cues it wide. That's a great look and execution by the German power play.
Right at that end where the German fans are situated. Loads of them have come from all over Germany, as they do every year at this tournament. And now fired down the ice by Will Butcher. 1:56 to go here in the opening period. Still no score between the United States and Germany. Ehlers brings it in, and Gibbons able to knock that down and play it out. Dennis Seidenberg up for Draisaitl. Under a minute to go on the power play. Kincaid leaves it there. Butcher to the line and squeeze that by Dennis Seidenberg and back out. Seidenberg, 15 years in the National Hockey League. He was a 6th round pick of the Philadelphia Flyers back in 2001. Eisenschmidt for Dominic Cahoon. Makes the return pass from Frederick Tiffels. Now Cahoon goes back. Dennis Seidenberg plays it across, and Eisenschmidt fanning that one-timer. Germans have had some looks in this power play. Now a chance for Larkin, short-handed. Americans are changing as Larkin moves it on Seidenberg, shoots. Troitla makes the stop and gloves it down. Leaves it there for Mark Michaelis.
I'm sure Marco Sturm is thinking, this is the team that I thought of. Not the one that played the first 2 games.
Thompson comes out of the box, and the Americans come out with numbers. Thompson centers it and just missed Coleman with that pass. One shot for the Germans on that power play, and a couple of close calls. Michaelis chips it down to the American zone. Osterley back to pick it up in the final seconds now, the opening period. Pionk to Osterley. Coleman up for Colin White. A centering pass, and Patrick Kane stopped point blank by Troitla. What a stop there as time expires. Wow. No score after one. Both teams with great chances here in the first 20.
And the score after 30 minutes, USA 0, Germany 0. And shots on goal, USA 11, Germany 7. And in Copenhagen, the score between Belarus and Russia is 0-1.
And determination I need every day. The years of training, pushing myself to be the strongest, the sharpest. My dedication to the game, to my teammates who are counting on me to deliver. The nerves of steel, the preparation and ritual before the adrenaline of the match. The responsibility of doing my best every time, prepared to fight every shift in the ice. This is who I am.
And shots on goal, USA 11, Germany 7. And in Copenhagen, the score between Belarus and Russia is 0.
You can always do that. There you go.
Rice. You? We'll go. Rice, you coming? Weiter.
Was ist der Tag? Der schickt in die Ecke, ich gehe in die Ecke, dann schießt du Wind fürs Tor.
Good.
Both teams had their chances in the opening period. Both teams had a power play, but there's no score through the first period of this 4:15 local time matchup between Germany and Team USA on day 4 of the 2018 World. Through one period of play in Copenhagen, Russia, a 1-0 lead on Belarus.
Okay, guys.
Pavel Datsuk has the goal there. And even strength for the Russians. Connor Murphy goes back at the team start the second period, 5-on-5. Leon Draisaitl picks it free. Draisaitl a centering pass. Elish missed on that and now moved in by Corbinian Holzer. Elish centers it. Cahoon lifted it back in front. Tage Thompson picked it off. Or Cam Atkins rather picked it off for Team USA. And now the play called offside at the German line.
A couple of good chances at both ends of the ice. Marco Sturm goes to Nicholas Treudel in goal, and Treudel responds with 11 stops, including 3 or 4 spectacular saves. One on Atkinson, one on Kane in particular. And something had to change for Sturm. Timo Piemeyer gave up a 45-foot waffle yesterday, and Germany fortunately was able to come back and tie it. They lost in the shootout, so no surprise that he made a change in goal today.
And in that shootout, Leon Draisaitl wasn't allowed to shoot as he was in the penalty box at the end of overtime. And under IIHF rules, if you got a penalty that goes to the end of OT, you're not eligible to take part in the shootout. We saw that with Connor McDavid in Canada's shootout loss against Team USA in the opener. Patrick Kane winds it across the top. Will Butcher winds and shoots. He powdered that wide. All the way back down, and Kincaid leaves it there for Butcher. Team USA back in action against Latvia on Thursday after 2 days off.
Latvia got handed to it by Finland yesterday. Sebastian Aho, 6 points. What a start he's had.
Including shorthanded goals in each of Finland's first 2 games.
Got 10 points in the first 2 games.
That long shoot in. Treutler makes the glove save and hangs on to that in the opening moments here of the second period.
The U.S. defense has been better as it's gone on. I thought they were overmatched a little bit early against Canada. They were running all over the place in their zone, and they seemed to settle in a little bit as the game went on. But it's a pretty young, pretty experienced group. Really, Alex Martinez is the most experienced guy, and Connor Murphy's played in this tournament 5 times now, but it's a young group.
Young drops it back for Gaudreau. Johnny Gaudreau slips around. Viederer going to stick on him, and the United States will go to the power play here. 1 minute and 38 seconds into the second period, as Johnny Gaudreau once again proves too elusive to handle.
It's not just players over here where Gaudreau is a problem for.
Germany, number 59, 2 minutes. Dripping.
Manuel Wieder, who plays in San Jose in the American Hockey League, gets caught standing still a little bit. Now he's going to try and keep Gaudreau to the outside. That's really almost an impossibility. And the U.S. back to their second power play.
Wieder had a good year, by the way, in his first pro year in San Jose in the American League. Scored 9 times in 52 games. Played the Quebec Major Junior League for a couple of years. Was a 5th-round pick of the Sharks.
San Jose's drafted from Germany in the past, more so than a lot of teams.
Drafted Pielmeyer back in the day, the German backup goalie today. DeBrincat throws it across for Larkin, walks it and shoots. That was blocked by Krupp. Larkin flips it back. Hughes holds the line, feeds it back for DeBrincat. The 18-year-old Quinn Hughes on the point in the power play for Team USA. Larkin centers it there for Ryan. Shoots, he fired that wide. DeBrincat. Pass goes off a leg, sent down the ice by Daniel Pieta. There was 1 year San Jose drafted 12 Finns. Then a couple of years later they went heavy on Germans. With both the likes of Marcel Gotch and others. Of course, Marco Sturm was in San Jose for a while. As Anders Lee swings back for it. Kane throws that ahead, the pass too far for Atkinson. And Seidenberg has it back.
It's been an ugly power play here for the U.S. the first minute and 20. It's one way to get it organized. Give it to Patrick Kane.
Drops it off to Butcher. And Will Butcher across the line. Butcher rings out around the glass. Anders Lee goes after it, but Holzer banks it off the boards and back down.
Early period power plays just don't have a lot of steam in many cases.
Atkinson drops. Gaudreau plays that back. Picked up in stride by Kane. Walks it and shoots. And that was blocked by Pieta. And now Kane at the line can't hold it. And the play called offside. 3 seconds to go in the American power play. No shots on goal so far.
Kane does not have a goal, as you see in the 7.5 periods that the United States has played. And was enthusiastic to come and play, and I think it's a big deal when the U.S. gets a player like Kane to come. It changes the outlook of the team, of the players that might consider to come. I mean, if you're a player that's going to get added late, and you see someone like Kane here, you think you've got a chance at a medal. Otherwise, you're probably ready to pack the season away.
For a long time, the U.S. had an awful time getting anyone to come. Back in 1982 at the World Championship, the U.S. was relegated. And then scraped together a group of college players and guys in Europe to play in the qualification tournament back then, which was in December.
And I've never really understood why they've not been able to attract players to come and play on a more regular basis. I think it's a miss by USA Hockey.
And there's a lot of the line. If you win this tournament, you get about $1.5 million US, which can go straight to development of players.
And a lot of these players have come through their national development team program.
Lead pass. Colin White in behind Seidenberg. A backhand shot stopped by Treutler. Another 5-0 save by Nicholas Treutler. Now played back to Martinez. Takes the feed from Larkin. And Dylan Larkin back with it. Works in, has a look. Yannick Seidenberg flushed him back. Murphy steps around Seidenberg. Plays around for Kreider. That was knocked down. Draisaitl gets to it.
The German fans were just chanting Treutle's name. They're here for fun today, but they're loud. That's a good group down there.
White, up in for Larkin, and Larkin has it back. In comes Larkin. Trying to feed that back across. Another penalty coming. Tiffle's got a stick on Milano as he was coming in. And I believe they're going to call the hook on Frederick Tiffles, and that'll send the USA back to the power play for the second time in the period.
And there's the hook on the pass out to the outside. Tiffles, who plays in Wilkes-Barre in the American Hockey League, also played in the ECHL this year. As we get a look at Colin White, beautiful feed from Alex Martinez, and Treutle is able to keep the left leg there long enough to make the stop. The Senators' first-round pick of a couple of years ago. A little more active in this game than he has been in the previous two.
Scored twice in 21 games with Ottawa this year. 11 times in 47 games with Belleville in the American League. Kincaid followed that for a moment as Hager was bearing in on him.
So 3 power plays for the U.S. here.
Gaudreau plays it back for Atkinson, who collided there with Kane. And now Kane settles things down at center ice for Gaudreau. Johnny Gaudreau, rink wide, finds Lee, shoots. That was blocked by Holzer. Picked back off by Lee. Gaudreau feeds it across. Kane at the side of the goal holds, trying to center it. Blocked again by Holzer. Now, Kramer couldn't knock it out as Kane holds the line. Patrick Kane slides it down to Gaudreau. Butcher back with it. Finds Kane. Side of the goal, the centering pass. Gaudreau in, shoots, and the save made by Treutler. Gaudreau feeds it back for Kane. Boy, Treutler's been terrific here in a period and a bit. Kane slaps it across to Gaudreau. Back for Kane. Feeds it back across. Gaudreau centers it. Treutler down. The puck stayed out. Hit the back of his pad, it looked like, and dribbled just wide. Now Butcher works it. He shoots side of the goal. Treutler again with a stop on Atkinson.
All of the big boys are getting turned away.
Wow, this is something else. Butcher back to Kane. Blinds in, holds, sends it back across. Treutler down again, keeps it out. Kane says the puck was in. And somehow Nicholas Treutler able to keep shot after shot after shot out.
Kane just went to the official and showed him his stick, which is carved in half. But here are a couple of stops. This one is Gaudreau first. Glove stop by Treutler. The U.S. maintains possession as Gaudreau gets it again. Kane walks into the slot again. This is Gaudreau to Lee. He taps it just wide. Lee had 40 goals this year, but it's not over. Cam Atkinson, who scored in each of the games, he's been robbed twice. Well, you don't want to drop your beer.
No, we don't want to put it down.
That was pretty solid cheering there by the German fan. Nicholas Treutler, an amazing performance here in the last 30 seconds on this U.S. power play.
Shots now 15-7 overall in favor of the United States. 5-0 here in the period. Martinez back to Hughes. Still 15 seconds to go in the power play. Larkin back to Martinez. Hughes to Larkin. Dylan Larkin walks it in, shoots, and Treutler got a piece of that. And now Moritz Mueller sends it back down as Tiffel steps back on the ice. Icing call against Team USA.
Nicholas Treutler played 25 games in Nuremberg in the DEL this year. An under 2 goals against average, stopped 94% of the shots he faced. But he wasn't facing Cam Atkinson and Patrick Kane, Johnny Gaudreau, and he stopped them all here on that last power play. Imperative that Germany stays out of the box here, tied 0-0, but they've given the U.S. 3 power plays. You start to wear yourself out, running around killing penalties all the time.
Nobles picks it up now. As he walks in, Nobles along with Tiffles, sends it back in front, knocked away there by Martinez. Now Jonas Mueller shot that was blocked to Brink. It goes ahead to Larkin. Jonas Mueller takes that away. Brought in now by Tiffel. And a sharp angle feeds it back for Nobles. Tiffels couldn't reach the pass. Troitler led the German elite league with that .944 save percentage. Another stop there on Coleman, and a penalty coming now again to Germany. It'll be a slash, and Team USA is going back to the power play here in a scoreless second period.
Team Germany, number 45, Dominik Flaschen.
On a Monday afternoon in Herning, Denmark, Germany is tempting fate here, penalized for the third time here in the first 8 minutes of the second period. Jonas Mueller goes off, and back comes the American power play.
The official went and spoke to Jeff Blashill, now has skated down and talked to Marco Sturm, delivering a message to each.
Face-off won by Atkinson, tapped back by Gaudreau. And here's Kane with it. Kane, Gaudreau, and Atkinson have all been on the receiving end of highlight reel saves by Nicholas Troitler. And now Holzer plays it ahead. And Kramer trying to poke that by Butcher. In comes Gaudreau. And Gaudreau feeds it back to Butcher. To Gaudreau. To the goal line to Lee. That bounced away. Atkinson back on it. Dennis Seidenberg got a stick on that pass. Now Kane with it. Back of the line is Butcher. Across to Gaudreau. To Kane. Butcher teed up for the one-timer. Kane takes it instead. And Troitler makes the stop.
After Kane's zipping the puck around, looking for a pass, finally he gets fed up with it and he rifles this through the Anders Lee screen. Troitler with yet another stop. Oh, there's the penalty as Coleman's stick looked like it was almost broken already.
Yeah.
That waffled pretty easily. See Sturm doing a little positional coaching here. It's,
you know, for a guy that scored goals in the NHL, Marco Sturm was also a very good penalty killer.
he's a good player. Marco was smart. He's a power play guy. He killed penalties, as you mentioned. Got a little bit of an ice issue here as bring the bucket out, shovel up the crease, it looks like.
Troitler's been busy.
We get a glimpse of Troitler, the save on Atkinson, one at the end of the first on Kane, the breakaway on Colin White here in the second period, and then that magic work on the power play. Gaudreau first, Atkinson next, Patrick Kane after that, and then he got a break when Anders Lee shoveled an open netter wide. Not exactly sure what they're doing here. There doesn't seem to be, they must have a patch to make.
This gives the Germans a break. The problem with all these penalties here in the second period, Ray, guys like Draisaitl and Hogger sit on the bench.
They just sit over there and get frustrated. If you're a guy that doesn't kill penalties, you start to get angry with the guys that are taking them because you lose all your ice. You're like, well, what am I doing here?
You didn't kill penalties, did you?
Never. Never. I took a lot of penalties, though. So
other guys had to kill them
me.
for you. You kept them busy, Ray.
Yeah.
Gaudreau, the little collision there with Pietta. Gaudreau slowly get to his feet. Another penalty coming here to Germany. And Lee will leave it there for Pietta. They're going to call a kneeing penalty
See, I don't want to be critical of the officials here, but this isn't the penalty.
Number 96, minutes remaining.
Now they make knee contact, but watch when Pietta's going to the puck. Now he's trying to avoid Gaudreau. He's going to where he thinks the puck is. They come colliding together. Whoops, there's nowhere to go. Right? Obviously it's a knee-to-knee check, but there's no, you can't just, he's right, you can't just reverse your field. However, it's 5-on-3. Detroit will do it again.
A minute and 5 seconds. Butcher back at the point for Gaudreau. Takes the return pass from Atkinson. Butcher to Kane. Feeds it back across, and Atkinson missed that. Gaudreau to Butcher. At the side of the goal, Atkinson to Butcher. Gaudreau in, feeds it down to Kane. Kane slips it back across, and Atkinson missed again. They've run that play twice here in the 5-on-3. Lee got flattened.
A couple Islanders right in the middle, Seidenberg and Lee going at it pretty good.
And Lee gave it back to him, and now Butcher with a hard shot off the mask of Troitra. And Hager clears it down. 20 seconds to go in the first German penalty. Butcher works in for Kane. Back for Butcher. Kane has a look, walks out in front. Now Butcher back across, Gaudreau holds, trying to feed it back across, Hager blocked that. First penalty's over, Atkinson drops it back, Gaudreau feeds across to Kane, scores! Patrick Kane, just as the first penalty expired, a power play goal in the United States, takes a 1-0 lead.
A lot of people waiting for Patrick Kane to break through. It's his first of the tournament, and this U.S. power play, which had chance after chance after chance, finally cashes in. Kane was going across the doorstep to Gaudreau. They couldn't complete that. Eventually Atkinson and Gaudreau connect, and Kane down by the goal line doesn't miss. He gets this up top in a hurry. And the U.S. now 1 for 5 on the power play. Patrick Kane's first of the tournament is giving them that lead halfway through.
The break for Germany is that the first penalty had just expired, so now it's back to 5-on-5, but the damage done. 4 consecutive penalties on Germany. Sturm hated the kneeing call on Pietta. And the German fans giving to the officials here.
Gaudreau points in every game, a goal and 2 assists. Atkinson the same, 2 goals and an assist in the tournament, and there's Kane's first.
Kane last played for Team USA in the 2008 World Championship at 3 goals in 7 games there. So now Cahoon, Draisaitl, and the big boys get to work for Germany.
There's another penalty.
Yep. Larkin was brought down. And that'll be a 5th consecutive penalty against the Germans here in the second period. 9.5 to go in period number 2. The U.S. is going back to the power play.
In Germany, you have 2 minutes booking.
The procession of the penalty box continues for Germany. Moritz Mueller goes off for the trip. So moments after Patrick Kane scored the game's first goal in the power play, Team USA was back on a man advantage for the 5th time in the second period.
Marco Sturm's got to gather his guys here, tell them to relax, don't be angry anymore at the refs. We've now taken 6 penalties in the game, no more. Move your feet. That was a stationary hook that Mueller took on that penalty, and they've hurt themselves again.
Butcher to Gaudreau. Down to Leah, centering pass, ticked away there by Dennis Seidenberg, who's going to wear out here in the second period, killing these penalties.
Seidenberg, Holzer play these penalty kills almost as the entire length if they can.
Now picked up by Hoggart. And Kramer jumping in with him shorthanded. In comes Hoggart, moves around, back in front, poke check there. On a good defensive play by Butcher. And
He wanted a penalty.
His stick was knocked out of his hands.
This is where the frustration bubbles out of you. You take yourself out of the game.
The Deutschland chant goes up again as Atkinson comes across the line. Atkinson splits the D, and Holzer got a stick on him to knock it away. Gaudreau banks it back for Butcher. Cross he goes to Kane, back to Butcher, steps into that and fires. That was blocked in front. Now Gaudreau spins and shoots, blocked again by Seidenberg. He's been a human backboard in this tournament so far. Noble shorthanded. Finds Pieta, backhand shot, and Kincaid makes the stop, drops that down. Now Kincaid had it knocked by Pieta for a moment, and Butcher picks it up. All these New Jersey Devils for Team USA facing a New Jersey assistant, and Jeff Ward is the assistant coach here for the Germans under Marco Sturm. Patrick Kane drops it back. Quinn Hughes for Kane. 25 seconds to go on the power play. Kane's pass deflects over. They score. Derek Ryan, power play goal. 2-0 Team USA.
Derek Ryan's first of the tournament. He gets a lucky bounce on a deflected shot. Kane's shot bounces off a defender and goes right to Derek Ryan. Ryan's coming off the bench. He's been on the ice 3 seconds here. Thank you. 2-0 US. The puck hops to Derek Ryan and he doesn't miss. After missing on their first 4 power plays, the US have cashed in on their last 2.
And here they come again. Larkin a long shot, and Treutler hangs on to that.
Well, this is where the game slips away from Germany unless they can put together a couple of shifts here and settle the game down. They're hanging by a thread.
Meantime, in Copenhagen, 3-0 Russia, now leading Belarus. Kablukov and Maxim Shalunov have scored in the second period. Pavel Datsyuk scored in the first. That long shot stopped by Tiffels. Rebound. Squirts back out to Gibbons. Ryan Gibbons. The Devils down to Colin White. Back to Gibbons. Works it free. Sends it back in front. That was missed by Coleman. And finally loose puck down and up and moved ahead by Michaelis. Murphy steps across the line, but the play was called offside.
The U.S. power play was stymied by Nicholas Treutl for much of the first half of the game until Patrick Kane at the end of a 5-on-3 that turned into a 5-on-4 made it 1-0. And after Germany took yet another penalty, the goaltender sad as Derek Ryan makes it 2-0. Who wears goalie gear to a game?
We just saw a lady with a Lego head on. Now, Lego was invented in Denmark. It's from here. That makes sense, but we have seen some odd costumes.
Yes.
I saw a man last night wearing a Finnish flag as a dress, which I can't unsee.
What about the guy at the piano bar? That cannot be unseen. He put in quite a shift.
He geared right down too. Yeah, no shirt, no shoes, no problem.
Quote our good friend Jeff O'Neill, that was a grit grinder right there.
So now Stern's got to try to steady the ship here. Germany only has 2 points in the tournament so far. As you mentioned, Ray, a shootout loss to Denmark, shootout loss to Norway.
They have Korea, Latvia next. those almost become must-wins for them.
Really, you've got to.
Because you've got Finland and Canada after that, and that's going to be a tough one to chew.
Probably need 8 points to get to the quarterfinal round. 3 points for regulation win.
Well, that would mean 2 regulation wins against Korea and Latvia, right? They've got the 2 points sitting in the bank now, and unless they can find a way to get themselves back in here, they're going to need those.
And now a penalty coming to Team USA. Coleman will go off, reaching in on Hager. So 6.5 to go in the second, and Germany will get the power play here. It's first since the late stages of the opening period.
Maybe this is the way back into them for them. We talked about how good they were on the power play at the Olympics, and Patrick Hager was one of their most dangerous players. Hager has both of their power play goals in this World Championships as well. If your team is getting power play after power play, you have to be careful when you get back on the ice 5-on-5s, because there's a feel, an edge that you're going to get one called on you, and there's one on Coleman now.
Draisaitl had the pass ticked away by Derek Ryan, who has the power play goal and now comes up to kill one. Ryan, an amazing story, a walk-on with the Spokane Chiefs. Went to the University of Alberta, then went to Europe and played in some lower-level leagues there before his old coach in Spokane, Bill Peters, gave him a chance with Carolina. Draisaitl plays it back to Yannick Seidenberg. Back down to Draisaitl, 90 seconds remaining in the power play. Plachta walks in and fires, and Kincaid got just a piece of that. His mask is off. And now play is called. That's the second time we've seen that with Kincaid, where his mask comes off.
Gordon, I think Germany's got a penalty here. Elitz for goalie interference.
The officials are discussing it.
He put his arm up in the air and was pointing it at Elitz in front of the net.
Team USA number 1, 2 minutes to win the game.
Oh, they've given this to Keith Kincaid for delay of game.
Are they saying that Kincaid deliberately took his mask off?
But he's showing him, look, the strap is broken here. So here's the shot.
Okay.
And he just shakes it off, his helmet off. The strap had obviously come undone at some point. It's not yet. Oh, there's the shot, hits him in the mask. It's not a good call. I guess he could have stood up and said, I need help. Jeff Blashill is over talking to the official as they're trying to get some clarity on this. And
he's already called, the referee has called the penalty. He has gone to the bench and called the penalty. And the referee, Anton Jarabek from the Czech Republic, is still talking to Kincaid.
He just said make-up call.
Yeah, and you know what? And Derek Ryan will go off. It will be a 5-on-3 for Germany.
Right, Kincaid just said to the official, that's a make-up call.
And off the face-off, Murphy sends it down the ice. The draw was won by Larkin.
Well, Germany can't ask for anything more than this. 80 seconds of 5-on-3. Power play is their most dangerous weapon. They've got to get on the board here, Gordon.
Hager works in, slides it back to Yannick Seidenberg, across to Plachta. To Seidenberg. Germans get set up as Draisaitl. Go back to power play, backdoor pass for Plachta. Plachta back to Seidenberg. To Plachta. Seidenberg. Draisaitl. Hager standing in front, takes the puck on the goal line. Back for Draisaitl. 45 seconds to go in the first American penalty. Hager to Draisaitl. Flips it back for Plachta. Lots of traffic. Plachta to Seidenberg. Drops it back to Plachta. He's got a big shot from the point. Goes back across. Hager a drive. And Kincaid made the save on that. 5 to go in the period. Seidenberg back to Plachta. Another shot. Kincaid save. And he squeezes the pads together and holds the puck. He knew it was there somewhere and managed to hang on.
Germany was pretty methodical moving the puck around. I thought they could shoot it a little quicker, and when they finally do shoot it, it's from the top of the circles. Kincaid looks behind him, hoping he doesn't see it slip out from between his pads. But they've killed off the first minute of that 5-on-3.
21 seconds to go in the penalty. to Blake Coleman. Draisaitl wins the draw. Ehlers back to Seidenberg, across to Plachta. Little pick there on Larkin, didn't like that. Draisaitl slides it towards the goal line. Ehlers back on it now. Final seconds of the Coleman penalty. Seidenberg back to Plachta, to Draisaitl. Draisaitl works in, waits, drops it down. Ehlers centers it, chance for Hugger, turned away. As Kincaid got a piece of that. Now the power play continues for 30 seconds. Larkin on a race for it, shorthanded. In comes Dylan Larkin, all alone. Larkin stopped by Treutla.
Well, he's done his job today, hasn't
he ever? 20 seconds to go on this power play. Draisaitl works in with Ehlers. The drop for Ehlers. Works it in, shoots. And Kincaid got a piece of that. Plachta rings it around for Draisaitl. Centering pass for Ehlers. Works it in, shoots. Kincaid the save. The rebound cleared away by Coleman. Draisaitl in the final seconds now of the power play. The Hogger between the legs he goes. That was knocked away by Coleman. Ryan steps out. So the Americans survive a long 5-on-3. And now Coleman has it. And the lead pass for Gibbons was knocked down by Dennis Seidenberg, or Gibbons was off to the races. 2 power plays for Team USA in this game, both turned away. And now Coleman works in. Back to Gibbons, a long wrist shot, that goes wide. Away comes Michaelis. He has Nobles with him. Michaelis, a centering pass, goes off the skate of Tipples. Now behind the goal. Battle won by Pionk for the puck. Now Pionk has it back for White. Kane with it now. Patrick Kane winds in. Michaelis knocked that down. And Nobles throws it ahead for Michaelis. Up for Tipples. Shoots. That was blocked. And now White back on it.
White with Goudreau and Kane here.
And the lead pass for Goudreau. Works in on Jonas Mueller. Holds for a moment. Drops it back for Kane. Kane drops it back, and a hard shot hammered wide there by Osterley. Johnny Goudreau in the middle of all that traffic. Just
I don't know how he finds the extra space. There's nowhere to go.
Jonas Mueller plays it back across, and the shot taken by Avera goes wide. 2.5 to go in the second period. Avera winds in. Spins away from White. And Avera drops it back. Seidenberg's shot goes off a leg and wide. Avera lays that back. Ebner shoots. That was blocked, as you mentioned. Ebner joined the lineup in the last German game after sitting out the first.
2 great stops there by Kincaid.
And now Kane flips it down to the German zone. Kramer banks it ahead for Eisenschmidt. That's knocked down. And played up by Hughes. Atkinson slides it down. Edmund breaks that up. Now at the line, held by Ryan. Across he goes to Kreider. Kreider swings it back. Connor Murphy, a shot that deflects wide. Atkinson swings it back to Hughes. Across to Murphy. Murphy. Atkinson. Hughes winds in. Drops it back to Atkinson, a long wrist shot. That goes wide. Murphy plays it down. Kreider was stripped. And now Murphy back with it. In the corner for Kreider. Kreider was tied up by Pieta. Feeds it down to Ryan. And Derek Ryan has it picked up. Pieta trying to clear it out. Knocked down by Ryan. And he's exhausted German trying to clear it out. Dennis Seidenberg holds. Finally, Team USA makes a change. The long lead pass goes to Pieta. Murphy drops it back for DeBrincat. Lead pass for Lee, who's bumped down at center ice by Holzer. And Dennis Seidenberg plays it up the center, where Connor Murphy's waiting for it. DeBrincat chips it there for Larkin. Larkin in, shoots. Blocked by Holzer, rebound, and Lee puts it over the glass and out of play. 26.2 seconds to go here in the period.
Nico Kramer's going to get the rebound right in front of the net off the Uvera shot. Kincaid makes 2 excellent stops. Here's one on Hager on the power play, as well as Germany has had their chances here in the last few moments when they got onto the power play to cut this lead in half. But Nicholas Treudel was able, in the midst of that 5-on-3, to stop Dylan Larkin on the breakaway. Treudel's made 22 stops, several of them of the highlight reel variety. He has been outstanding.
Datsuk has his second of the afternoon against Belarus. 4-0, Russia leads there. Larkin back with it as time winds down. Knocked down in front of the goal by Lee. Sends it back in front. That's knocked down by Draisaitl. And now Keane back on as time winds down here in the period. Larkin sent Plachta flying. And the United States, thanks to a productive power play, gets 2 goals in the man advantage, leads 2-0 after 40 minutes.
And the score after second period, USA leads 2-0 over Germany. And shots on goal, USA 13, Germany 8.
Okay. On the man advantage for nearly the entire second period, it felt like the momentum was finally shifting your way. You get the second goal, your first of this tournament. How did it feel to get the monkey off your back?
Yeah, it felt good. It's nice to get that one. It's kind of a gimme, a little tap in, but yeah, our PP had a lot of zone time, a lot of looks. Our goalie played great. It's nice to get 2.
Patrick Kane breaks the deadlock, assists on your goal as well. This is his first time being back at the World since his rookie season. How much does he mean to this team? Not just his leadership, but his skill as well.
Yeah, just every time he's on the ice, I think everyone's excited to see what he's going to do with the puck. And what he does on the ice is one thing, but he's also a leader in the dressing room, and he's helping the team come together. So that's a big part of our success.
Thanks for doing this.
Thanks.
Introducing the 2018 IIHF ad. Player statistics. Team statistics. Live updates. And introducing Guessing Game. Predict each game's final score. Win points and compete with hockey fans around the world. From any smart device, in your own language. The 2018 IIHF app, powered by Skoda. Download it now from the Apple App Store and Google Play. Skoda. Simply clever.
Team Germany, 4 players on the ice. 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 Team USA, 4 players. Team USA, 4 players.
Two periods of play. The United States has a 2-0 lead on Germany. Nicholas Treutler has been terrific in goal for the Germans. Both American goals scored on the power play. But Germany needs points in this tournament and needs them now. By the way,
one way to start climbing into the game is to keep 5 guys on the ice. That second period got away from them. They were shorthanded so many times. Eventually, the 2 power play goals put them in this 2-goal hole.
Darren Dreger reporting that Frederik Andersen will not start for Denmark tonight against Canada. It'll be Sebastian Dam in goal. Cahoon plays it back to Dennis Seidenberg. A long shot. Kincaid made the stop, and flashing on the rebound in front was Leon Draisaitl.
By far the best Germany's played in the 2.5 games we've seen them.
Draisaitl moves around Kane, shovels that back. And White picks it back up for Team USA. To Alex DeBrincat, lead pass for Kane, just got away from him. And now Plachta has it back for Germany. Matthias Plachta for Eisenschmidt, works in, shoots, looking for a stick on the far post. And Plachta couldn't get there. Eisenschmidt got bumped. Plachta trying to dig it free as Will Butcher all over him. Treutler plays it across to Moritz Mueller, who backhanded that just wide of the goal.
A little close for comfort.
Drop back as Nicholas Jensen fed that back, and Ryan put it high and wide. A very even game through 20 minutes. Both teams had lots of chances. And then the 5 straight penalties against Germany in that second period. And 2 power play goals for Team USA. Long shoot in, knocked away by Kincaid off the stick of Nobles. Still to come tonight, as we mentioned, Canada and Denmark here in Herning. It'll be Sweden and France over in Copenhagen. To throw in, shoots. Blocker save made by Treutler. And Michaelis moves it out. Michaelis is an undrafted player playing for Minnesota State Mankato. And drops that down to Tiffel. And the puck skips over the glass and out of play.
Keith Kincaid had to make a couple of good stops in that second period. Makes a difficult one on Seidenberg here as it's deflected by Elitz, and the rebound flies right by Leon Draisaitl. The deflection by Elitz takes this puck out of the middle of Kincaid's body. He can't freeze it, and Draisaitl's not able to corral it with an open net sitting in front of him.
Kramer in across the line, got bumped there by Milano. Viederer tries to center it, got flattened there by Coleman. And now Viederer back on it. I mentioned 10 players in the German team played in the Olympics. They made comebacks their specialty in Pyeongchang. Pionk with it. This, though, is a much different level. There's no Patrick Kane, Johnny Gaudreau, and company playing in Pyeongchang.
Well, for Germany, both sides of the equation are different. They're not as deep, and their opponents are better.
Drop pass for Larkin, feeds it across. Osterley in, shoots, short side, and Treutler got a stick on that. Kane back with it. Feeds back to Osterley. Steps around Draisaitl. Osterley centering pass, knocked away by Dennis Seidenberg. And Seidenberg taps it back for Kramer. And away comes Cahoon to Draisaitl. Leon Draisaitl pulls away to the front, shoots, and Kincaid makes the save on that.
I really like that play by Draisaitl. He uses his size, he knows the contact is coming, and he leans into the U.S. defender to clean a little space out so he can get this puck on goal. So much needed from Draisaitl for Germany to be a competitive team, and we talked a couple of times about the shootout losses as Keith Kincaid still conferring with the official about the penalty he got for delay a game in the last period.
Drop came off his mask, he shook it loose and was penalized in the play. And away comes Kane. Steps around Eisenschmidt, flips that down to the German zone. DeBrincat after it. Chops that in the corner to White. Back to Martinez. So this is White with Kane and DeBrincat. And DeBrincat shot was knocked down in front. Back to White. Feeds it back to Martinez. Across it goes to Murphy. Connor Murphy's long shot stopped by Troitla. And he'll gather that up.
The U.S. finding a way for Colin White to be a little more involved in the game today. This is interesting with DeBrincat and Kane, who played together in Chicago on a line. Those two, of course, are familiar with each other, and White gets a spot there as Troitla trying to get his mask back together here.
Marco Sturm has expressed a desire to coach in North America. The question for him would be, what's the best path? Gaudreau feeds it back. Jensen a shot. That deflected just wide as Ryan got a stick on that. Now Ryan trying to feed it back in front and tied up there by Tiffels. Ebner slides out ahead. Jonas Mueller. Up ahead for Michaelis. Works it back in front. Jensen blocked that. Michaelis back on it. Pad saved by Kincaid. He stuck the left pad out and the puck hit it. Now Kincaid's lost his stick. And that shot by Ebner is stopped. Kincaid quickly gathers it back up, and Lee plays the puck back to Jensen.
Michaelis didn't know that Kincaid was out of the play. Kincaid didn't know that the puck was being delivered. And somehow that thing stays out of the net.
Anders Lee works in. Lee drops it down, chopped wide by Coleman. Moving in is Butcher. Will Butcher back at the point. Pionk with a shot, tipped high and wide by Gaudreau. Swung back in front. Butcher has it knocked away and flipped back out by Michaelis. And back comes Sonny Milano for the loose puck. Milano. Played 14 or 55 games on this year for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Scored 14 times. Now poked back. In comes Milano. A centering pass. Troitla knocks it down. Milano on the rebound. Turned away. Another chance. And diving across. Troitla turns that away. Coleman has that pass tipped away by Kramer. And back is Butcher to pick it up. Shots are 27-18. Team USA in the game. Piled up 13 shots in the second period, thanks in large part to all the power plays. Viederer bangs that down. Kincaid decides to hold on to that. And we're going to face off with 13:42 to go here in the third period.
Welcome to Skåne, fan of the game.
Michaelis, a 22-year-old, played for the Germans in the 2015 World Junior Championship, the year they were relegated. You mentioned playing college hockey at Minnesota State Mankato. More and more European players are taking the college route.
Well, for them, it's really a good route to take because it gives you 4 more years to be looked at. You get to develop, you play at a high level, and you're playing in North America where you might not be the primary player they're scouting, but the scouts are there looking at the draft eligibles. They start to see you become a more viable prospect.
First one I can think of was Victor Ståhlberg from Sweden, who played college hockey.
Here's that play where Michaelis spins around. Look, Kincaid's just lying there, and the thing hits his pad. Down at the other end, Troitla's got a battle away with Milano and Gibbons. Oh, and this hits the butt end of Troitla's stick. Gibbons is flailing away on the ice after taking the Milano pass.
Milano played for Team USA in 2 World Junior Championships, 2015 and 2016. Was the 16th overall pick by the Blue Jackets in 2014. Yannick Seidenberg back to pick it up. He's an Olympian. His brother Dennis has played the Olympics 3 times for Germany. They never got a chance to play together. Dennis Seidenberg's first Olympics in Salt Lake City in 2002. Jonas Mueller. Up into Yannick Seidenberg, fires that around. Yannick Seidenberg. Up there by Atkinson. Here's Morris Mueller, a shot that deflects from line. Eilish spins away from Martinez. And Murphy picks off that pass, lifts it high in the air and back down to the Germans on a race for it now. DeBrincat gets in there. And Troitla had to play that away. Now lead pass. Draisaitl in with Eilish. Draisaitl drops it back. And Cahoon had it broken up by White. Draisaitl back on it, throws it back in front, picked off by DeBrincat. And that was wide of the German goal, but icing waved off. Eilish pass hit White, and White flips it back in deep. Patrick Kane almost stole that. Troitla chips that back in front, knocked down by Kane. In comes Butcher, sends it back in front. Troitla point blank save, and again on DeBrincat. DeBrincat thinks it's in. The referee's looking and says no. DeBrincat's sure that puck's in the net.
I don't mean to doubt him, but you're always sure. And you're trying to sell it as you go along. What a save here as Troitla spreads out all the way. But you see the calmness of DeBrincat in the traffic? He doesn't slap away at it again. He makes a little move. Watch after the initial save. Watch him take the puck to the side to shoot it again. And Troitla stops that one too. Really, really patient, skillful play by DeBrincat. 2 great saves by Nicholas Troitla.
Matt Barzal, Brock Besser, and Clayton Keller were the 3 finalists for the Rookie of the Year award. The likes of Kyle Connor, DeBrincat, and Charlie McAvoy didn't make the cut. A pretty good rookie class. Centering pass by Plachta, didn't get the hogger. And now Ryan back on it. And don't forget Nico Hischier of New Jersey, who was the #1 center for the Devils all year long at the age of 18. Kind of
Get into Pierre-Luc Dubois as well.
Yeah. Kind of the Matthews Lionade year, right? I mean, so many good rookies weren't finalists that year.
Yeah, and you're like, good luck. The
Gaudreau
award
got a
somewhere
slash
else.
in the hands from Holzer, gives him another whack. And of course, you mentioned that Gaudreau is sensitive to that, having his hand broken by Eric Stahl in a game last year.
He didn't like that. He took a one-handed slash at Holzer. Holzer gets him right on the thumb. Gaudreau gets him once, and then it's the...
Holzer didn't really seem to flinch, so he gave him another one.
Here's that save by Troitla again. You know, Gord, we've talked about Timo Pielmeier, the backup goaltender who played 1 NHL game in 2010 against Anaheim. He gave up 5 goals on 12 shots. Troitla got 1 NHL game against Anaheim. He gave up 5 on 16. Maybe Anaheim's not the team to be playing for these guys.
At the line, play called offside, 10:45 to go. You think about, you get to the National Hockey League, you finally work all your way there, you get 1 game.
And you can't rebound it. I'm sure you're nervous. You're terrified, actually, against facing shooters that you've never faced before. And Troitla played, as you mentioned right off the top, played 1 year in the American League and in Springfield, and then came back home and had an outstanding year in Nuremberg here this year.
The German league is dominated by Munich and Berlin, the two big money teams in that league, as Murphy shot deflects high and wide off the end of the glass, out of play. They've split the last 6 German league titles.
Jeff Blashel's team has got 2 goals on their power play, nothing else at 5-on-5. They've given up probably more than they would be comfortable with. But Keith Kincaid's made a half a dozen really good saves as well.
You mentioned 2 days off for the United States. And the game against Latvia Thursday, and South Korea Friday, Norway Sunday, Finland Tuesday. Could be an important one. The Finns have scored impressive wins over South Korea and Latvia so far. And now Wheeler's works in. Trying to get through Martinez. Kirill Kaprizov has scored again for Russia. 6-0 they lead Belarus. So by my math, that's 20-0 the Russians have outscored their opposition so far in the tournament. Tiffels. Back for Draisaitl, finds Moritz Mueller. Flip that back across to Elish. Shoot. And the puck goes out of play with 9:58 to go here in the third period. 2-0 the USA with the lead. .58 remaining here in the third period. Later tonight, Canada will take on Denmark here in Herning, a hotbed of Danish hockey. You think a country of 5 million people had 7 players in the NHL this year. In a country where hockey is not the #1 and might not be the #2 sport. Soccer #1 here. There'll be a big soccer game across the street as well.
Handball is enormous.
And in Europe, Germany too. Handball's very big there. You ever seen it?
Yes.
It's a great sport.
It's something that, well, we played whatever version in high school, but I mean, the way these guys play it is something unfamiliar to us.
It's a bit like watching table tennis at the Olympics. We play ping pong, they play table tennis.
Yeah.
A bank pass picked off. Kane sends it back in front. Gaudreau scores! Or DeBrincat scores! Alex DeBrincat on the feed from Kane. And it's 3-0. So the steal by Kane, the feed, and DeBrincat has his first.
And 3 points for Kane, a goal and 2 assists. And Alex DeBrincat's not going to get many easier than this. And he's got his first of the tournament. Germany's got the puck under control and go to bank it around the back of the net. Jonas Mueller, and his bank shot hits the back of the net. Kane picks it up, and again, there's a little hesitation for DeBrincat that shows his patience around the front of the net. He didn't one-time it right away. He took it, dragged it a little bit into his feet. Doesn't matter where you score, it's always fun.
Native of Farmington Hills, Michigan. He played for Team USA in the World Junior in 2016, was not invited back as a 19-year-old in 2017. That surprised a lot of people. He was having a monster scoring year in the Ontario League. Team USA did win the gold medal, however. Third in rookie goal scoring in the National Hockey League this year, trailing only Kyle Connor and Brock Besser. So a 3-0 lead. 6 of the first 16 games in this tournament ended in shutouts, and both this afternoon have one team being blanked. Now Nobles walks in. Nobles has a look. Drops it down to Cahoon. Back for Nobles, winding in. Backhands that wide of the goal. And now Michaelis back on it. Stolen by Coleman. Coleman centers it. And Milano just missed on that. Michaelis brings it back as the Germans break out 4 wide. Michaelis works in and shoots. Kincaid save rebound. Oh, what a stop by Kincaid on Yannick Seidenberg.
Seidenberg's had 3 or 4 really good chances today. That's a terrific effort by Kincaid.
And now Moritz Mueller swings back. Nobles spins it back at the point for Jonas Mueller. Crisscrossing there with Draisaitl. Well, you think about those scoring chances the Germans had in the first period. They couldn't connect. Now Team USA with 2 power play goals in the second. And an even straight goal in the third. Kincaid plays it across to Murphy. The Keith Kincaid story remarkable for New Jersey this year. Really seized the net for them in the second half of the year. Went 11-1-1 in his last 12 decisions. And basically, along with Taylor Hall, dragged New Jersey into the playoffs. DeBrincat feeds it back across. New Jersey did not get a win from Corey Schneider in the second half of the year. Then in the playoffs, Kincaid lost the net against Tampa, and Schneider kind of took it back. So now going to training camp next year,
they're in great shape because you've got Schneider, who you most would assume would rebound. They're hopeful of that. Kincaid doesn't cost you so much that you can't take them both back. They're in an excellent spot.
And you got a young player like a Will Butcher, who was terrific on defense in his rookie year. He's sure still a young kid. Kane works in, a little backhand move there. Just missed White with that pass.
Hischier is going to be a young kid for about 3 years.
Oshale's shot was stopped. And the odds-on favorite will be the MVP in Taylor Hall. Tiger walks in.
I think you're being presumptuous. You think he's the MVP? I think it's him or McKinnon, don't you?
Kane drops it back, and the shot lifted high by Jensen. I would think he'd be the pretty heavy favorite, wouldn't you?
Well, I see who you voted for.
Well, I've already said who I voted for. But I
voted for Nathan McKinnon.
Oh, there you go.
Clearly,
okay.
I'm right and you're wrong.
Once again.
What a miserable task that was this year, wasn't it? It was so hard to try and differentiate between the guys that had just amazing years. There were, I don't know, 6 or 7, would you say?
Claude Giroux, not a finalist. And a great year for Philadelphia. Of course, Connor McDavid.
Kenny Malkin, Blake Wheeler.
Now Martinez shoots. That's knocked away by Treutlen. I predict that Hall will win it more handily than you think.
Knowing you, you've canvassed the voters.
Holzer plays it across to Seidenberg. All at 41 more points than any other New Jersey teammate this year.
It was a remarkable season.
And that's not taking away from anything McKinnon or
but see, that's
Kopitar.
That's the problem with voting. People think if you vote for one guy, you're voting against another, and you're not.
I'd like a ballot 10 deep.
I mean, both of them just astounding seasons for teams that weren't even in the ballpark a year ago.
3:45 to go here in the third period. Still 6-0 in Copenhagen in favor of Russia. The Russians over to France, Austria, and Belarus. They'll play Sweden in their last game of the round robin a week from Tuesday. Swedes have a good team as well. And of course, these teams will take on different looks as Kane works in and shoots. And Toronto got a piece of that as teams get knocked out of the playoffs. Might get some additions for Russia, Sweden, Canada, and others. Canada's an open spot, as does Team USA. That goes Butcher for it.
Well, if I'm Germany, I'm really pleased with the effort today.
Right.
No, but so you don't get the points, but now you're going into 2 games you have to win, and you should be feeling pretty good about yourself. The way they changed the lines, the way they got enough chances to create enough danger. They took too many penalties, and it took them out of the game.
Team USA number 36, booking.
Colin White, one of 5 Boston College Eagles on this Team USA roster. Most of them are a little older than he is. Jerry York, the coach there, is practice. Shoot, scores! Now the referee says no, play stopped. It's going to continue here. The referee says play on. Now twice we've seen play stopped here for the referee to review it. I thought that was it.
I did too, and they have been told don't stop the play.
Right, keep going.
Remember, Jean-Gabriel Pajot hit the crossbar.
Yeah.
He thought it was in, and as we discussed it, it was a player's suggestion. They stopped the play. The puck was still going on. The U.S. guys had to scramble back into game mode.
Connor Murphy was alert enough to pick it up. So they'll review this, and then if the goal counts,
they put the time back on the clock.
And this the most fascinating part of this ruling. If you do something now and get a penalty, it counts. If you hook someone right now and they wind the clock back, as walking in is Tiffles, he's turned away by Kincaid.
And it's either 3-0 or 3-1, and we'll find out shortly.
But if you took a penalty right there, it would still count. And they're going to have a look at this.
It's a funny one. It's a long shot. It hits Kincaid and deflects upward towards the top of the net.
See the officials with the big apparatus on the helmet. Both referees are wearing cameras.
The one that'll tell us is the overhead will be the most clear. The shot is deflected.
A couple of times.
That's in. No, you know what?
No, it's
not.
It fluttered in the crossbar.
That looked like it was hitting the back bar, didn't it?
Yeah.
After review, goal behind stands, no goal.
The official standing on the goal line, he got it right away. So Keith Kincaid continues his streak. He's not given up a goal since the 3rd period of the Canadian game.
Three and a half to go in Copenhagen as well. The Russians with a 6-0 lead on Belarus. As Dylan Larkin brings it ahead. Larkin. Little burst there from Dylan Larkin. There's fast skaters And those guys can just suddenly go fast, like Larkin.
And Larkin goes from a standstill to top speed in a hurry.
Seidenberg feeds it across. Eisenschmidt, 30 seconds to go in the German power play. Cahoon works it and centers it. It's off a stick and wide. And now Larkin backhands it back down to the German zone. Final minute of the third period. Working against Cahoon. Dropped it back for Eisenschmidt. And now as White steps out, Seidenberg gathers up the loose puck. Will Butcher back with it. Gibbons throws it back in front. Coleman, a backhand shot and rebound put wide by White. Gibbons back to Butcher. And time winds down here in the third period. As Holzer gathers it up, and Team USA is going to go to 8 points through 3 games. And Germany stuck on 2. And Keith Kincaid with a shutout streak of over 134 minutes. Stops all 24 he faces in a 3-0 win for Team USA. So next up for Team USA, Latvia on Thursday. Germany has South Korea on Wednesday.
The penalties were the difference. The U.S. power play got the 2 goals. Patrick Kane, the goal and 2 assists. Kincaid, another clean sheet.
Germany was over 5 straight penalties.
And a nice job, better than a nice job for Nicholas Treudel in goal. He was outstanding.
Treudel faced 36 American shots. And now we'll get the player of the game presentations and then the Star Spangled Banner.
The best player of each team will be awarded with the official watch by Tissot, official timekeeper of the 2018 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship. The prizes will be presented by Frank Gonzalez, co-chairman of the 2018 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship. And best player of Team Germany, number 31.
Nicholas Treutler.
He's looking for the name pronunciation. Oh, he did it well.
He was terrific. I mean, some Kane early on, robbed. Took away from Coleman. A couple of breakaways he stopped.
Atkinson a couple of times.
And Russia has won 6-0, by the way. Their 3rd straight shutout of the tournament.
Number 88, Patrick Kane.
Kane gets his first goal in this World Championship. And is Team USA's player of the game. And gives a little nod over to Treutler for a job well done.
And ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Team USA. Get your official merchandise today. Don't forget to visit the NEH merchandise tent in the fan zone. And don't forget to get your tickets for the next game. Tickets can be bought at Ticketmaster's office in the arena and in the fan zone. And the next game here in Herning will be the game between Canada and Denmark at 8:15.
Felt like a tale of two different periods. What started out relatively slow for you guys, Germany putting on a lot of pressure. Where did you feel the momentum start to shift in that second period?
Well, we knew they were desperate and they needed points in this game, so we knew that they were going to come out strong. We probably didn't have the start we wanted to, but you know, we got some power plays there in the second, had some chances, had some good looks that didn't go in. Was able to capitalize on a 5-on-3 at the end of it, and then got another one 5-on-4, and then got an insurance one there in the third. So I think we just got better as the game went on, and kind of the story of our tournament so far, we're just getting better and better every game, I think.
Strong game for you, not only getting a goal, contributing elsewhere as well. I think your celebration said it all. Felt good to get the monkey off your back.
Yeah, it's always, you know, that was a big goal for us. We had some power plays that we didn't score on. Like I said, we had some chances, and just nice to score that one, give us the lead, and feel good about our power play. So we had some chances there, and like you said, kind of nice to get the monkey off the back and get that first one.
You haven't been at the World Championships since your rookie season. Why was this enticing for you to come to?
Well, I wanted to go last year when we lost, and I ended up deciding not to go, and then I was just kind of mad at myself the rest of the summer that I didn't come. So I said if this opportunity came along again, I want to take advantage of it, to take advantage of playing for the U.S., especially without playing in the Olympics this year. And you know, it's been a lot of fun. The guys on the team have been great. It's been fun meeting new guys, and competition's been good so far too. So it's a long tournament, but you know, I like where we're at right now.
Thanks for doing this. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Well, for the first 20 minutes of play, it felt like this was your game for the taking. What transpired after that?
Tough to say. Obviously, we took a lot of penalties in the second. I think we spent more than half of the period shorthanded, and against a team like the U.S. with all the skill they have, they're going to make you pay eventually. So I don't know I didn't see all the penalties, so it's tough to say right now if there were good calls or bad calls. But in the end, we can't change it. You know, like it's adversity we got to face sometime. And if you want to beat a team like the US, you have to stay out of the box as much as possible. And in the end of the day, we didn't do that in the second period, and it cost us the game, I think.
Your goalie made some key saves, stood on his head, kept this game relatively close. What did you think about his performance?
Well, he's unbelievable, and that's what we need against a team like the U.S. Again, we need good or great goaltending, and he was unbelievable. He stood on his head, like you said, and he made some great saves early on and kept us in the game, gave us some momentum and some life and some belief to beat this team, and I think he did a great job and gave us a chance.
As one of the leaders on this team now, you have a day off. You'll turn around and take on Korea. Is the confidence level high in this team still? What are you going to be telling the other players?
Well, obviously, I think most of the guys are going to be a little bit down. We have a young team, so it's going to be on us, the leadership group, to pick them up and keep our heads up because we played a great game today. I thought we did everything we could, and this was probably our best game so far in the tournament. I think with a performance like this in the first two games, this would be a different situation. But we can't pout on over it anymore. It's a day off tomorrow, and then we got Korea, and we have to show up for that game and be ready 100% and come out strong and get the 3 points.
Thanks for doing that.
Thank you.